Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for clicking on the video and thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. Gonna connect here and see what comes through. I guess I'm getting a prairie or desert-like experience. There's cattle there trying to, they can't get across this waterway. It's not very big, but it goes kind of deep. They're getting frantic, like something's coming, but there's nothing there. It's open grasslands. Maybe they're sensing something that's coming, and they're spiraling. They're not really like as we see cattle. It's they. I don't want to say they have human heads, but mentally they do. You know, they're like people. Maybe this is in relevance to society. You know, freaking out about something and uh, very closed-minded and allowing this to consume them. I mean, there's a lot of them. And they just keep going back and forth and are like running into each other, all freaking out. That no one's talking together. They're all in their own uh, fear, trying to find their own safety. But by coming back to a place of, catching our breath, viewing the situation, assessing it, and coming up with a plan of action would be rewarding. And they would find their way up. And now a small walkway bridge is opening up. Yeah, pulling our energy out of the situation, catching our breath, and looking at it from a different viewpoint will bring a reward. Now everybody's coming over the bridge, and it's like a totally different day now. This is really getting into uh, how our mind can play tricks on us, how our mind can create such a huge stir of something that is small in general, but when we get our emotions, and these emotions are led by these internal fears that we have of how we want to look at it. I'm getting like really strong pain here on my shoulders. This, how stress works, how we like things to go a certain way, and when they don't, the world is ending, and we can't see it through because we can only see it this way. And until we take a step back and really look at, oh wow, it's not that big of a deal. There's another way. There's always another way. There always is another way, and it's up to us to be open to see that. And when we can't, kind of like all these cattle, that was the only way. What's right in front of me? But the bridge that opened up was down this way. But they were all focused right here because we were all kind of corralled in this space. And yeah, the waterway went as far as we could see either way, but we were just, and maybe it's in a tribal mentality type deal, that since they're a herd animal, everybody was in this one space. So if everyone's freaking out over here, I'm probably going to go freak out over here instead of walking away, because the bridge opened up over here, and the guys on the end that didn't have all this distraction and chaos going on were able to remove themselves or be detached enough that they could see another way. And when they led, they went over this bridge. Then everybody else kind of saw it. Their group was getting smaller, and then they just followed, and then everything was fine. So I'm not trying to get into a society big catastrophical thing message, but this could be viewed on a scale of just our independent thinking versus what everyone else is saying and running with. You know, we love to people love to instill fear and blow things out of proportion to make it emphasis, and especially now with everything being driven by advertisement, whoever's topic or talking point is the most absurd is going to get the most attention. And this isn't just in news, this is in relationships, anything that is the most out of hand is going to draw the most attention. So what do we have with this here, Spirit? Yeah, enthusiasm. The words I always think of, I don't watch the news, but I do look at the weather. And when I might be trying to load up the radar, these headlines are only calling for, I don't know, maybe 1 inch to 3 inches of snow in an area that is very accustomed to snow. But these headlines are like, oh my God, the world is ending. There's going to be no eggs, no milk, no bread, and everybody gravitates and dives in on this. And I'm thinking to myself, haven't we learned yet? Don't we have enough food to last a couple days in our house? Are we that dependent that when things are slow down, we cannot provide for ourselves? That's scary to think that we must depend on these things that much. Talk about if anything does happen in the external, our world would crumble because we build it on the external. We got to take care of ourselves a bit more, and that leads to a freedom that can't really be emphasized. Self-focus, the Empress reversed. We look at the cattle in the end where the bridge was. Focus on ourselves. Where are these emotions coming from? Where is this fear coming from? Am I picking up the herd mentality? This fear that's being pushed, this absurd, this enthusiastic energy? Am I jumping on their bandwagon? Or am I going to focus on myself and see how I'm really feeling? What's really going on? Am I leading out of a fear, or am I picking up their fear? That's something to really look at. Looking at like the actual true empathic, that we can pick up energies that aren't ours and embody that and think it's ours, and it's not. But going through life like that, can be very difficult. We take ownership of things that aren't ours. Focus on ourselves. Where's this fear? Where's this emotion coming from? And if it is ours, okay, let's look at it. Maybe we can heal it during that process. See it for what it is. Navigate it. Have a different perspective. That is the hardest thing to do when we are so focused on how things go, and society or people around us reinforce that and keep us in a box to not be able to see anything beyond, or a glass ceiling that, yeah, we can see it, but we can't get through it. But there's a bridge right here. What else do we have here, Spirit? The Sun. Authenticity. This, obviously, we're looking at a herd mentality or a tribe mentality and walking away from it, seeing what they can't see. And I'm sure they want to see it, but they can't. When we keep ourselves in that place, we can only see what we can see. And everything that we do is going to reinforce that view. That's extremely true if we're in a struggle or we're in challenging situation. Say we're building something and it can't be done the way that we think it has to be done because it has to be done this way. Sometimes walking away for those 5 minutes, coming back, and it's like, oh wow, I see it completely differently. I removed myself from the situation. I cleared my head from the problem. I stopped worrying about it, stressing about it. I totally changed everything, and I came and I saw it in a clear mind, a different view, and wow, there's a bridge, or I found out how to do this. And it does work. You should try it if you're struggling with it, which I would imagine might be taking place. One last card here, Spirit. What does the viewer, what would help the viewer see these different perspectives? Two of Cups reversed, misalignment. We could look at this in a lot of different ways. Not looking at ourselves, looking at the grander scheme of things, looking at the tribe mentality, not coming from an authentic place. What does everyone else want? What's going to work for everyone else? When looking at these types of situations, I guess we'll just go back to the cattle. And if we're part of that herd, that tribe, we kind of got to go with the flow or fit in with what everyone else is doing. Otherwise, we're not going to be a part of it. Maybe we're not supposed to be a part of it. Maybe we're supposed to be authentically on our own. And that's where that misalignment is. We're trying to reinforce the herd, and there's a lot of resistance there because we want to be here. Everybody does. Everybody should want to be. I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to be. Who wouldn't want to be here? It's a great place to be. It's an enthusiastic. There's a lot of enthusiasm in that place because we are free. We are free to be us. We are free to not allow these external things to, I just want to say reinforce, but it's more or less affect us, direct us. If we would have allowed that, we would have never saw the bridge, if that makes sense. I'm going to leave it there. Wish you all the best. If this resonates, feel free to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And as always, take a step back, have a different viewpoint, and we'll see the bridge. Take care, everyone.